For 9211 coming at you with another video. So here's another opportunity for people to get angry, to get jealous, to get envious, to comment, to get emotionally triggered. Um, this video is gonna be different from the other videos that I've made in the past. This one's gonna be a behind the scenes, kind of like when you watch a movie or you watch a cartoon or you watch whatever, and then it has the behind the scenes of what's going on. So if you type in Dark Magician versus Tier Zero, there's a lot of millions of YouTubers, millions of videos, but you're not gonna find nothing. There is no such thing as Dark Magician versus Tier Zero. How do you know that the deck that you're battling is a Tier Zero? Those usually have 3 to 4 negates per turn, every turn. So nobody has those videos. Like, I take this challenge against the whole planet Earth. Like, basically, if you exist during my same time span, look in your channel or look in the people you follow and try to find someone who takes 3 to 4 negations per turn Tier 0 deck against a Dark Magician and they won. And you'll find out that there is no such thing. It's not existence. The only videos that you'll see is a max of 2 negations per turn. And they're very rare. But yeah, I try to upload all the Tier Zeros, all the first place regionals, first place YCS champions, undefeated, those decks. Nobody's beat them. And we're going to go behind the scenes and take a look at what's really going on. Because a lot of people don't know how to play Dark Magician and they accuse me of not knowing nothing. But in reality, I know a lot more than them. I've been beating all the decks before they even picked up a Dark Magician deck. So we're going to take a look at it. So first of all, this hand is dead. It doesn't matter what someone says or opinion or anything. It's just the raw truth. The hand's dead. It's no good. And on top of that, you have to go against the Tier 0 for negation. So how do you win? So people, for the most part, they'll start by saying like, oh, I lost because I had a bad hand. Oh, I lost because Dark Magician is no good. Oh, I lost because only of this card. Only if Dark Magician read this, only a Magician Soul said this and did this. Like, everything's a fantasy world, just a bunch of excuses. Oh, it's a bad hand. Like, it just never ends. It's always the same. And then right after that, they'll blame me for something. They'll blame you. Same situation as Adam and Eve, just the blame game. Sadness, anger. Cancerous, losers. So basically, let's go at it. So the opponent triggers, dumps, uses the effect, the special from deck, pays, draws it, and then from there activates the effect, reveals it, specials it, and then they both special summon, and they allow them to bring that from the extra deck. After that, the monster effect triggers, and that allows them to special summon a monster. And then the monster comes out, and then it can search. It did, and then it pulled the card. Then he brought the zombie, triggered the effect, dumped, and then that gets removed. The card gets removed, and then from the card lets them bring from the field, and then it dumps another one, and then the I don't know how to pronounce it, Hybofrax, whatever the card is. He goes ahead and links, uses the effect, specials, removes, specials. He's already, if you rewind the video, he's somewhere around 12, 13 already. So it's a Tier 0. And he's basically gonna end up setting up the board. Link. use effect special from deck. So basically, he didn't have nothing in the field in his hand. I'm sorry, in the field. But what he did was he used all these cards, and if you pay close attention to them, he's using a lot of types of engine. This is common for Tier 0 style. When you go to top regionals like 32 or top nationals 32, you start seeing a lot of decks that incorporate 3 to 4 engines per deck. And people always say like, oh, he doesn't know nothing. He doesn't know what it's like. Don't listen to him. It's funny because everything that comes out of my mouth, you've never heard it. People have never heard anything that I say before. It's all new. And then everything I say is true. And then on top of that, whatever I say that's going to happen in the future, that's what happens. So, for example, if I say format is bad, everybody else 2-3 months later say it's bad. I say it before anybody does. Any other channel that plays Dark Magician, compare their channel to mine. Mine always says things first and then they follow me. A lot of people don't know that they come to my channel to get the content and then they give it to you. And because they're saying it is accepted, but you are not aware that they're copying me. So it's basically what I'm saying. They're just using it for them. That's like a copyright. So they don't tell you all these things I'm telling you right now, but top regionals, top nationals, that's what it is. It's 3 to 4 engine type decks. And this one has the punk engine. And it has many other different engines. So then, if you know anything about this style of deck, it's similar to the Flunderies. They play a lot during your turn, but they play a lot more while it's your turn, while they're just waiting for you. So, because we're gonna be looking at 4 negations, there are gonna be 2 negations and 2 interruptions total. What you want to do from the 6 cards, you have to remember 4 of those already burned, so that leaves you 2 alive, correct? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna search through the deck, and we're gonna go through an extensive series of draw and combos. So the first thing we want to play is something to draw out of our decks, because we don't want breaks. We want to draw everything we can. So Salvation, Search Set, so it's similar to a draw. Then he triggers the effect, and then he brings the Scythe Lock, and now you can't use the extra deck anymore. So just with the Scythe Lock, in case you didn't know, like I don't know if you guys have ever seen regional duels or national duels or local duels. Even though they tell you I don't know nothing, they're lying to you. I know a lot more than they do. There is no such thing. Take my word for it. Like, if you think I'm lying, you don't believe me, okay, then test it. Anything that I say, go test it. Go look in your own channel. Like, if you're watching this, go look on your own channel. See if you've ever gotten the Scythe Lock. And then when you're done with that, go look at all your favorite Dark Magician players that exist in the world. I know people see up to like 50 of them. Go see if they've ever gotten the Scythe Lock. Guess what you're gonna find out? You've never gotten the Scythe Lock. Neither has the people that you follow and then that you see as teachers or masters. Now, if they did get the Scythe Lock, they lost. They didn't win. So look, I got the Scythe Lock. So then after that, he synchros, and you got Baron the Fleur. So this card right here, for read the effects, it does 2 different things. The first one is the Omni Negate, and then the second one is the Interruption. He can banish either from the field or the graveyard. And then this card right here, he can pop a card, and then he can negate. So, and then on top of that, you have the Scythe Lock. So we're still gonna go into mill the deck, right? Because we have to deal with all the negations and interruptions. So we draw, activate effect, dump to the graveyard, activate effect, use effect, so then he negates, And then from there, we're going to go into Rod search, activate the effect in the graveyard, draw, and then from the draw, we end up getting called by the grave, and then we're going to hit circle, and then that's going to get negated, and then also an interruption followed by it by the effect. Yeah, by the zombie monster. So, and then on top of all this, the scythe block is active. So it's a total about four negations, two negations, two interruptions. So then the cards that we have left through all those plays that we did, we have called by the grave. So you already know what I'm gonna do, right? So when he triggers the effect of Baron, he's gone. And then if anything goes bad, I'm going to defend. And then this one's going to be used to defend as well. Because you have to survive the 4 negation. And then you have to break his board. So those are the cards in the graveyard. So you got 4. And then 5, 6 removed. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 cards. So I took 2 negations, 2 interruptions, 4, and I still ended up with this many cards. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 cards. So that's what people can't explain. Like, how did I end up with 11 cards total played? Some of them are set, some of them in my hand. But how did I end up with this many cards if I took 2 negations and 2 interruptions? Plus no scythe block. I'm sorry, plus the scythe block. How did that happen? So that's why I know people don't know how to play Dark Mission, because if they would have been playing right here, they would have had 1 Infinite Impermanence and then 1 Ash Blossom, and those wouldn't have helped them. They would have just gotten negated. And those cards would have gone to the graveyard. But for me, even the ones that got negated, they don't matter because they can re-trigger. So the other question is, why didn't I dump Dark Magician? Because of the fact that he can remove it from play. So your Eternal Soul is not active. So if it was active, you can chain. So when he uses this effect, then you chain the effect and you'll resolve first. That's why I chose to send the Dark Mission Girl instead. So then there you go. He triggers the effect of Baron. So he's going to regenerate it again and then bring it back out. So we stop it with called by. And then it gets burned. Then after that, he goes into special, normal, special, link, triggers the effect. He attacks. So at this point, you have to make the choice. Do you want to bring out Dark Magician? So that's going to stop the attacks. And then that's going to switch it to this monster attacking. After he attacks, he's going to use the effect to remove him. So then this is the OTK, not a FTK, the first turn kill, but the OTK, 1 turn kill. So I have to calculate it in my mind quickly and see if I'm going to be killed. So if I'm not going to be killed, I'd rather just take all the attacks, because if I bring Dark Mission out, I'm going to lose. So what I choose to do is to thin out the deck. So this is still not our turn, because our first turn already ended, but we haven't gone our second turn. And look at the cards that we have. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards now. We have 12 cards, and the deck has been thinned out to 28. So you might feel like, well, that didn't do nothing. Well, hold on. So he activates dump, special summons. So a lot of people complain about my deck, saying it's too random, it sucks, it doesn't work. They don't understand. Every card in my deck does either search or draw. Anything else that does not do that, maybe like 5 different cards, those are floodgates. So it doesn't matter what happens, I'm always going to be drawing. That's something people don't know. It doesn't matter what card I draw, I'm always going to draw. So So then here we go. I normal use effect. So then what he does is he uses the effect to interrupt, and he banishes it. So then we're gonna play secrets, and then we're gonna follow up by getting the knowledge, and then trigger the eternal. After that, you're gonna pop the field spell, and with the field spell gone, that's gonna stop a lot of the effects of his monster. So we're gonna attack, and then from there you're gonna trigger the effect, bring the scythe lock again. So we have the scythe lock 2 times in a row, and we drew a total of 5 cards this turn. 5 cards, man. 6 cards now. So we draw 6 cards. And now the deck. This is my second turn. I've gotten scythe lock twice. Interruption still. And I drew 6 cards into my deck, even though I went through all that. No Dragoon, no Dragon Knight, just Dark Magician, nothing else. And after that, I searched with Terraforming, and then I triggered Mystic, and that's pretty much a wrap. So he's gonna start linking, and he's gonna make 1-to-1 ratio to break out of it. So I drew, and we draw secrets. Use the effect, and we're gonna go and attack that because I don't want any problems. And then we're gonna set a trap for him. We're gonna set secrets because he doesn't know that Dragoon's gonna be coming out next turn. So then he triggers the effect of his monster. His monster says if there's field spell cards, it can be special summoned back to the field. So it gets special summoned. We trigger, we bring Dragoon, and then he's trying to decide what to do, but he's already finished because he doesn't know I baited him. I purposely played a field spell because I know he would bring his monster. That's what the effect of his monster says. So he took the bait. Like when you catch a fish, for the most part, is not to release him unless he's small. If he's a big fish, you're gonna kill him and eat him. So I was fishing for a fish, and he ate the worm. So now he's trapped because his monster stands no chance against my Dragoon. So I already know what's gonna happen next. We're gonna set skill drain, and by setting skill drain, basically he's done. The game's already over. We're gonna pop him, and then we're gonna attack with 3,000. And he would only have 1,000 left. We still have life points to pay, and then take some damage, and the guy surrenders. So if you pay attention, it was 2 negations, 2 interruptions, and the scythe lock. Then the other turn, he interrupted, and then the scythe lock, lock again, and we still drew. So it's gonna be our 3rd turn now, and I already know I'm probably gonna end up drawing either into another rod or illusion, because you're already at 50% of the deck. You already used 50% of the deck, and we're gonna start drawing into the good stuff, even Soul Servant, because we have 3, and then the rod is like you have 4 because you have the 2 rods plus the 2 illusion of chaos. So at this point, even a circle will do. We'll just keep this card in the hand to Omni Negate. So this is the graveyard, and then this is a removed. And by the time it's only been our 2nd turn, and we're already 20 cards into the deck. This one was the 3rd turn, and we're already 20 cards into the deck. I would have got there sooner, but he did too many negations, right? He's been doing a lot of negations, a lot of interruptions. If he wouldn't have done so many, my deck would have been somewhere around 15 already by the third turn. Because I usually hit close to 20 by the second. My first turn, I draw somewhere around 10 to 12 cards on an average. Sometimes I could do more, but you notice that I'm not lying because this is the tier 0 deck and I'm still doing the same thing that I do to every other deck. It didn't change. It's not that I just do it to the weak decks. I do it to every deck that exists. It doesn't matter. Um, so we got the skill drain active, the Dragoon, and I'm not going to be activating the skill drain um, unless I need to. But I mean, the moment I negate, I'm going to have a 4,000 hitter. He has 1,000. What's he going to do? Um, and then what's left in the deck is just only good stuff. Um, and you're thinking, like, what about the other stuff? Was the other stuff any good? Yeah, it was. I beat his deck. Um, so we're gonna end up either getting Soul Servant or a way to a Soul Servant and stacking the circle and drawing two and going from there. All the cards, like I said, most of them are searches or draws. That's the way it works. And all the search and draw, they just give me more power. And if you notice, I didn't need the extra deck. I didn't need Dragoon. I didn't need anything. I still get the job done through the negations and everything. Nothing affects me. Um, there's still always a way. So it takes a lot of brains. You have to be smart. See, because the average Dark Mission player, they only care about 2 cards for the most part. To them, the world revolves around the hand traps and it revolves around impermanence. And that's not enough to beat tier 0. You do good against meta, but I mean, who's proud about beating meta? Meta is weak. Meta is like rogue. And to me, top tier 0 is weak too. As long as the deck exists, it's weak. And then on top of that, this deck has no Anaconda. It's the one from 2 months ago. So I don't struggle. If you do 2 negates, 2 interruptions, I don't struggle. If you're gonna OTK me, FTK me, I don't struggle. You have hand traps, it doesn't affect me. Sight lock, it doesn't affect me. Nothing matters. I got rid of every single thing he had, and I won. And it was all because I played in proper sequence. I know what I'm doing. So from the beginning, when I duel someone, I already know from the top of my head, they're gonna play a lot of effects. They're gonna negate everything, but I already know it's all a waste of my time. They're just wasting my time because it's so boring. Decks that nobody can beat in the world, boring. Decks that no one has in their channel winning with Dark Magician, boring. My deck, same deck. The same deck as always. It's not changing. The 3 to 4 year old deck, the same deck. Tomorrow I'm gonna play the same deck. It's gonna beat everything. Not gonna change the deck. So there you go. If you wanted to be angry, be angry. If you wanted to leave some angry comments, leave angry comments. And with that having been said, Dark Magic Attack.